Mountain News, first at 4, continues.
A Laurel County man was caught breaking into a flea market. The flea market owners even fought with the thief as he was trying to get away with weapons. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the bizarre crime.
It was very early Sunday morning before the flea market even opened, where the owners inside were getting ready for the day. They noticed some strange sounds and soon realized that a man was trying to break in and actually gaining access through HVAC ductwork. It was still very dark inside when Rick Willen and others were getting ready for the day at Cumberland Parkway Flea Market. Willen noticed the alarm going off, and they say the thief, later identified by police as 39-year-old Vernon J. Grubb, had gotten inside and was trying to steal stuff and then escape. Willen says it took a lot of people to bring Grubb under control.
And then me, my wife, Larry, and another guy out here, we subdued him, and until the cops got here, which seemed like it took forever because, I mean, he was wired. It took all four of us to hold him down.
Police say that Vernon Grubb is a convicted felon, and because of that, they say that he will be facing some additional charges. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The booth owner says Grubb took 3 guns and some knives, along with doing a lot of damage to the booth. 11 years ago, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office declared a war on drugs, and now those at the office are reflecting on the progress they have made in the county. Laurel County Sheriff John Root says the war on drugs operation has impacted the county in big ways. During the last decade, the office has gained community support on their operation through social media, and they've developed a canine unit, all of which has aided in their war on drugs program.
When I took office January the 3rd, 2011, I declared war on drugs in Laurel County. And it has been a very, very successful fight. It's one that we fight 365 days a year, 24 hours a day.
To keep up with the office's war on drugs operation, you can visit the Laurel County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. We have more on what they are doing tonight at 6. The USDA has confirmed the presence of highly pathogenic avian influenza in Kentucky. It was found at a broiler chicken farm in Fulton County near the Tennessee border. The H5N1 avian influenza is known to be deadly for domesticated chickens and turkeys. The Kentucky Department of Agriculture, in cooperation with Tennessee and federal officials, have created a 10-kilometer surveillance zone around the farm to monitor the spread of the flu. The KDA says this does not present a food safety risk.
Influenza does not pose a food safety risk. Poultry products, and eggs are safe to eat when cooked properly. There have been no human cases of avian influenza in the United States.
Indiana reported a case of highly pathogenic avian influenza in a commercial turkey flock last week. It was the first case in a commercial flock in the United States since 2020. If you see sick birds, you're asked to visit the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife website or call the Sick Bird Hotline.
Well, it is cloudless around the region today. It looks fantastic. You step outside and you feel the winter is still here. And we do have mild air on the way, but it's not quite here yet. Outside right now, our I-75 camera at London, you see plenty of sunshine. Blue skies as far as the eye can see. This afternoon, temperatures remain middle to upper 30s around the region. Some low to mid 40s as you head into the Cumberland Valley. Look up into the Big Sandy, though. It's chilly as you head over into West Virginia. It's 28 in Logan, 27 in Charleston, so it's a chilly one out there this afternoon. We continue to watch the potential for some of that milder air working on in due to cloud cover beginning to work on out as high pressure slowly scoots to the east as we finish off this Monday and into our Tuesday as well. Low to mid 20s though for tonight. Clear skies with temperatures getting chilly out there yet again. I'll have the latest on when things start to warm up a little bit coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Today marks 4 years since the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting killed 17 people in Florida, most of them students. Parents of the victims and student activists are marking the solemn date by rallying near the White House to demand action on gun legislation. CBS's Natalie Brand reports.
Atop a crane 150 feet high near the White House, Manuel Oliver, who lost his son in the mass school shooting in Parkland, Florida, delivered a message to the president.
I asked for a minute. Who is Joe Biden?
The father of victim Joaquin Oliver hung a banner demanding gun legislation 4 years to the day that 17 students and staff were killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Later, Oliver climbed down from the crane and was temporarily taken into custody by local police. Patricia Oliver, who traveled with her husband to Washington, says her family wants to see action.
I would like to see changes that improve our safety.
Recently, there's been an uptick in gun violence at schools in the U.S. According to Education Week, there were at least 10 incidents this year, killing or injuring 19 people. In 2021, 34 school shootings were reported, with more than a dozen people killed. President Biden released a statement saying he mourns with the Parkland families and has called on Congress to pass gun safety legislation and additional funding for programs aimed at reducing violent crime. Recent bills aimed at strengthening the nation's background checks and gun laws have stalled in the U.S. Senate.
Every day remind us the pain, and that's why we decided to be where we are today.
Joaquin Oliver's family says they won't stop working until there's change. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Former student Nicholas Cruz pleaded guilty to the Parkland shooting. He faces life in prison or the death penalty when his sentencing trial begins in April. California is parched and has been for more than 20 years. A new study found the western U.S. experienced its driest conditions in 1,200 years from 2000 up until now, and it's not letting up. Last month, Los Angeles saw less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. It was the 8th driest January on record. The study's authors say 42% of the drought can be blamed on climate change caused by human activity. As for when it will end, scientists say it will take several years of above average precipitation to end the mega drought. The study was published in the journal Nature Climate Change. The ambassadors of the EU member states have endorsed a proposal to provide $1.36 billion in assistance to Ukraine. The proposal still has to be approved by the European Parliament and then formally by the EU Council, but the endorsement by EU ambassadors is expected to fast-track the process. The goal of the funding is to promote economic and financial stability in the country as tensions with Russia continue to have a negative impact. Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, has tested positive for COVID-19. The news was released in a statement from Clarence House. It says she will self-isolate and follow government guidelines. A royal source says the Duchess is triple vaccinated. Her husband, Prince Charles, tested positive last week. The U.S. has suspended avocado imports from Mexico after a U.S. official was threatened. Mexico's agriculture ministry says a USDA food inspector received a threatening call to his official cell phone. Michoacan, a state in western Mexico, is the only area authorized to export avocados to the U.S. Unfortunately, it's also the site of a turf war between criminal organizations there. Mexican local and state police are working with the USDA to try and address the issue. Coming up on First at 4, many Americans ditched cable television years ago thinking they could save money by subscribing to streaming networks, but many popular apps are raising prices.
And keep the mild air coming. We've got some sunshine and warmer air on the way. I'll have those details coming up.